BOSS Radio, Southside Bosses, its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the site or the radio station, and opinions between talk show hosts may conflict. This site does not endorse anything as the truth. That you will have to judge for yourself. But we try to speak the truth on the owner's behalf and reserve the right to question the supposed truth. In this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and government corruption, it is sometimes hard to get to the truth, but we must try. It is not our intention to libel, discriminate, make hate, or annoy anyone. We believe that it is our constitutional First Amendment right of free speech to voice our opinions and our duty to the Constitution and country to expose the truth. This site takes no responsibility for the opinions of others and the postings of comments in chat rooms or forum posts.
Have you ever seen someone do something so outrageous that you can't help but think, this stupid crazy situations happen all the time, and people get into situationships on a regular. So, what would you do if you were in their place? Check out our podcast as we discuss just that on What Would You Do podcast on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all your other favorite streaming services. Make sure to search hashtag What Would You Do podcast.
What it is, everybody, what it is, everybody, what it is. This is your boy, Mr. E, boss of the Southside Bosses, and we are here live on another episode of What Would You Do here on BOSS Radio, and we got a great topic for y'all tonight. But before I do, I just want to let them know it will be just me hosting the show tonight. Miss E Squared, my beautiful co-host, is right now busy taking care of some other things, but she will be back on the show next week, so y'all make sure y'all tune in and turn up. But we still gonna get down. We got two wonderful guests that's going to be down with us on this show that's going to be talking about this great topic. So the topic today it involves infidelity, so we're definitely going to be getting in that. Want to know what your we're going to tell you the whole scenario real shortly, but let me go ahead and get a word from one of our sponsors. Skin and hair care makes the perfect gifts.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, especially when it comes in all natural forms for Southside Beauty Care. Our gift boxes include natural and raw black soap from Africa, hair and beard oil that will make your hair strong and shiny, beard balm with essential oils such as cedarwood, hoe wood, and more to style that manscape on your face.
I could use that.
Our signature skincare cream designed to quench your skin's thirst and make it shine like Bruce Leroy in The Last Dragon.
Did you just show your age?
Get your box today at SouthsideBeautyCare.com. Already. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get to it. That was a word from our sponsor, Southside Beauty Care. Make sure y'all hit them up for that 15% discount. All you have to do is put in Mother's Day 22, and you can definitely get your mother one of the best gifts she's ever received. But besides you, well, that's arguable. Anyways, we got two wonderful guests. We'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves. How y'all doing this evening, ladies? Oh, wait, let me put it. Already, I do apologize about that. I forgot to turn the speaker on. Well, how y'all doing this evening?
Doing well.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and let y'all introduce yourselves. Who do we have on here first?
With Nikki.
Right. How you doing this evening,
And
Nikki?
Melinda.
All right, and Melinda. All right, these are two long-time guests on our show. What would you do? So I guess you already know how it goes. So we always talking about infidelity on this show. So we definitely have a great topic. So the topic is, you and your husband of 14 years decide you want to adopt another child after raising two children. And during this process, he tells you that there's a secretary that's at his job who's pregnant right now, but she is not trying to keep the baby. She wants to put the baby up for adoption. So you think this is a perfect opportunity, even like it's a divine timing even. Now, as the years go by, you start noticing the adopted child is starting to look just like your first two biological children. even shares a family trait that's exclusive to the father's side of the family. So you alone decide to take the kids to do a sibling test, and the results come back that they are all related. You're shocked. Your mind instantly goes back 6 years prior to the actual adoption of this child and realize that your husband was more sighted than you were. So you decide to question him. He lies. You show him the sibling results. His facial expression changes and you recognize that I got caught look. What would you do? All right, so we already know how it is, ladies. We're going to start with Mickey and then go to Melinda. Mickey, what say you? How do you feel about this situation, and what would you do in it?
That's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know what. This is already 20 years in with the husband, and 7 years in with the child. So, that's my child. But the discussion from the beginning of that, I have no idea what I would do.
Yeah, this is like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. I can hear. I can understand that. Now you say that this is still your child. Now I understand that this is actually a good question right here. Now, do you actually see the child differently? I mean, the child was already an adopted child. Now you finding out it's a child of infidelity by your husband. Do you see this child in a different light, or do you continue to see the child in the same light?
I think most people initially see the child a little differently. Not in the sense that, oh no, this is my kid, but maybe in the sense of, now you know where he came from, like where he really came from.
Okay. All right, I can understand that. And how about you, Melinda? What say you? How do you feel about the situation, and what would you do in this situation?
Oh my goodness, Mickey, you make me feel so bad. I'm the evil one here. I do. It's an automatic divorce for me. You don't divorce your children, but it's an automatic divorce for me. Just the fact that you've lied about it. What else have you lied about? And I can't undo that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's just for me. But the child is still my child, and you feel any differently because I've raised this child.
Right.
Now. So even knowing that it came from my husband, it's just the fact that, again, you don't divorce your children. So I would still be a mom to that child, as I would my other two.
Already.
Yeah.
Already. 2 honorable answers right there. All right, but now let me ask you a question. Now you have this one child. How do you know that there's not more? Like, and how would you go about? Would you want to find that out? Would that be something in your mind?
No, because at that point, if you're going with what Melinda says, at that point the relationship's over. So whatever other kids he's got, those are his kids. And that's his responsibility, and he can worry about that himself.
Okay. Now, I do know that in some states they have a law saying that if your spouse have an affair and they get pregnant by someone that is not you still have full parental rights over that child. That's why I was asking that question. Since you have never met the mother children, they wouldn't even be a factor, even if legally they could still be your children.
Right. Only because I don't know about them. Even if he did, once we had a divorce, there was not much. If it became a thing of having parental rights, I would give up all parental rights to the other children that he's have that one.
Well, seeing as how it was found out after the divorce, I would think you wouldn't be responsible for them.
You could.
because that whole entire time you in no way supported them, so it's not like you're taking something away from them in discovery.
Right.
Okay. So you said you pretty much just leave them in a place. Now let's ask you another. You find out in the divorce that this your spouse, your husband, not only was hiding money, but he was pretty much setting himself up for a whole nother life. How do you go about that with the new child and all? Like, he was planning on taking the children and just getting ghost and just leaving you. You found all this out because, you know, you got a good lawyer. Your lawyer uncovers all of this. And now you have the chance to put him in the poorhouse. Are you going for the gusto, or are you just trying to get out of the marriage?
I'm going for the gusto.
Already.
I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. My thing is, I don't know if you can't even respect our marriage, and you put me in a position like this. How good of a father are you going to be?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if you have other kids that are around that you're not being a father to, and I knew nothing about, what kind of person does that make you? So yeah, I'm taking the kid.
Okay, and putting them on you're taking everything with it, huh?
I sure will. I sure will. Not because I'm being vindictive, but I have 3 babies that I need to think about now, and I'll be on my own. And yes, I work, and I'm complete already. But it's just the fact that you need to do your due diligence and support them. Period.
Right. All right, Mickey, what you say?
Man, I guess I'd be so mad.
Maybe you wouldn't do that.
I would be so mad. I wouldn't take everything, but at least half.
You wouldn't take everything, even though you would be entitled to it?
Child support. I mean, especially in states like Texas, they're gonna give me half anyway.
Oh yeah, everywhere gonna give you half, but in Texas, if he was trying to do something grimy like that, you can take all.
Yes.
And Melinda already on that boat. You go. I'm gonna make sure you invested in this.
Well, my thing is when you get married, you're married for life. You know what I mean? Good times, bad times, you're there. But when it's all deceptive, how long have you been lying? And that's just speaking to your character. So I just don't have time, and I don't have time to play.
Right.
Like I said, I have 3 babies to take care of.
Right. Do you let the other 2 children know? Like, let's say the other 2 children, they already know that this child is adopted. But do you tell the other 2 children that this is actually their blood sibling?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and when would be the proper time? Because I know a lot of people, some parents think that they don't need to tell their child that they're adopted ever. Some feel like they need to wait till they're 18. Some feel like they need to wait till they're 9. Some of them raise them knowing that they're adopted. Do you tell these children as soon as you find out, or do you wait a little while, or how would you go about that, telling the child?
For me, I would have to wait a little while until the divorce is settled and we're settled in. Then I can bring some news to them. So whatever age that is, the sooner the better. I just don't want to do while we're going through a divorce. That's a whole heap of information anyways.
Right.
Well, I mean, I feel like they want to know why their parents are splitting up, and by then, the kids, the older kids are at least, preteen or teen, because, you have them already before the adoption has before the adopted one came home. So the other 2 kids are definitely older, and I feel like it can be explained to them in a way that they understand what's going on.
Okay, now you brought up a good question. a lot of children, like especially the biological children, they like to look at the adopted child as the outcast, as the outsider child. They find out that the reason why their mom and dad are not together anymore is because their mom found out that their adopted brother is really their real brother. Do you think they should? How would you explain that to them in order to keep them from hating the other sibling because they feel like that sibling broke up their family?
Well, the sibling didn't pick up the father did.
Say that again.
By making the choice to, I said the adopted child, did not break up the family, but the husband did by, making the choice to be accepted. That's a lot of people, that's a deal breaker in a relationship.
Yeah,
so,
but we're talking about we're talking about like children that aren't of the age. They're not 18 yet. Most of them, their brains not developed. They just want somebody to be angry at. How would you explain that? That it is their father. It's their father's fault, and they need to be angry with him instead of being angry with the adopted sibling or their half sibling. At this point, it's their half sibling. Ain't even adopted no more.
Well, I think if in the beginning, when you have this newborn and you treat them as your brother or child, there shouldn't be an issue. I think if I don't know, it just depends on how you bring them home, how you chose to raise them from the time they came into your life and your children's life.
Okay.
That would be difficult if you're like, this baby is adopted and we're not his real parents. And it just depends on how you explain that from the get-go, that this is our child. This
Right.
is your brother or your sister. So automatically the divorce would be, that's what I was saying. I would wait until after the divorce to actually explain really going on besides the infidelity. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, from that, it's a grasp to know that is something that he shouldn't have, and that's why we're going through a divorce to begin with.
Okay.
I would never stand in the way of them getting to know their father and being there, but I wouldn't have the two older ones gang up on the younger one just to be pissed off. Let's be pissed off at dad. He did something stupid.
Right. Would y'all have a talk with the father that makes sure that he talks to the children and help to smooth that over, or would you have to supervise that talk?
Oh, I would supervise for sure.
Absolutely.
Because how do I know he's going to say
as a family?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there don't even do the supervised visits and don't even know that the whole time that the other parent is poisoning their whole relationship with their child. So, but
yeah.
So now when you got this I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. What you say?
Oh no! I was just saying, if you just do it as a family, do it together, and the reason why you're doing this to begin with, there should be no confusion.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's say, okay, the mother that gave up the child for adoption. Now we already know this. They don't have any kind of legal rights, but there's been cases where the mother who gave up the child has tried to come back and get custody of that child. If you find out that your ex is now trying to be in a relationship with this woman, like what kind of conflict and confusion can that have on the children's behalf, like on the children?
Again, I would say that it just depends on how you bring it to them in the beginning when you bring a newborn home. How you explain that. You know, and then whatever relationship is happening between the mother and your ex-husband, you know, you just have to be honest.
Right.
That's one thing. However they take it and whatever comes their way, you know, they'll deal with it.
Right. Okay.
They're more resilient than you know.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. We do underestimate these children. They smarter than us.
Yeah.
What about you, Mickey? How would you go about handling that when it comes to the children? How to explain that to them? How to keep them out of the chaos?
I think that they will be a part of some chaos, no matter how much you try to keep them out of there. And, you know, you just have to explain it in a way that they'll understand what is going on. And I feel like it is important to have that conversation with both parents, like, you know, the dad and the mom, and then, you know, sitting down and explaining things to the children.
Okay.
Because, you know, that's also a teachable moment for, the parents. That's a teachable moment for the parents. You know, teaching your children to be honest, even if it's something bad. And, you know, don't let it wait too long because, you know, there's more than one person that suffers because now the whole family is suffering because he made a choice 6 years ago or 6 or 7 years ago to do something wrong. And then he tried to rectify it by, you know, hiding a lie in plain sight. And, you know, I hate to refer to the other side of the lie, but the adoption, the adoption is real, but, you know, this being a random child is definitely a lie.
Right. Right. Now, I can feel that. Now, we've been looking at this through the perspective that you gained custody of the children. So let's try to shake it up a bit because there's some women out there that, you know, and my hearts go out to them. They was housewives for so many years and they thought their lives was, you know, they was in love. They thought their lives was great, grand, and they didn't get prepared for the day that man switched up on them. Hired a very expensive lawyer, and just took their whole life from up underneath them. Let's say y'all fall into that position because you found out that child was his. What's some viable solutions for women that are in that situation? How can they go about actually being able to rectify the situation, probably getting their children back and getting their life back online?
That's a harder one for me because it's so far out of my thought process. It's so far out of my character as a person to, you know, be in that situation in the first place. You know, like I said, my husband wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I'm not about to ask you for $20 to go to the movies or to borrow a credit card to go grocery shopping, like that. Like, I will not depend solely on the person. So for me, that was a little bit hard to wrap my mind around. But at the same time, I guess I feel like, first time for everything, you know, have an opportunity for that, you know, mother to get out there and get in the workforce and things for herself and for her children. It'll certainly mean a lot more than it hasn't been given to all those years. You know, people tend to take care of what they earn as opposed to what's just given.
Okay.
So I think everything in her life will mean more when she earns it for herself.
Right.
And for her children.
All right, I feel that. All right, Melinda, what about you? How you feel about a situation like that? If you was in that situation where you find out that your husband sired this child and you try to get out of it, but he done pulled the rug from up under you. Like, how do you get that rug back up underneath you?
Well, if I was an at-home mom, and he actually took the children, that would light a fire under my ass to either become a nurse, do something, go back to school, because I'm getting those babies back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if all I've been doing is relying, that's why I don't rely on people to take care of me. I do my own thing. And that's why I said I'm not incomplete. But if I were an at-home mom, and I had been for 14 years, yeah, you better go back to school. Doesn't matter how old you are. I know people who become nurses at 55. So
Right.
you can do something. So you better get a fire under your butt, get those babies back. You know, period.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it sounds like the common theme.
It's not about being. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I want your idea, your thoughts.
Sounds harsh, but at the same time, I have those babies' best interests. Not only my babies, but the adopted child that is my child as well. So all three.
Right.
You know, he can find me all he wants to on that, but once I've got my grounds for having a house and a car, and I can provide for those kids, you know, have insurance, I'm there. He's the one who cheated.
Right. Right.
So, I mean,
And
yeah, and I've already gotten close to the child that we had taken in. Whether that is my biological child or not, I've had that baby since he or she was a newborn.
And he's your children's sibling. So.
yeah.
Yes, and so those are my babies, and I will fight you. Yeah, Jesus can't save you.
I hear you on that. I hear you.
Yeah.
But I'm gathered that the main piece of advice that I could probably give women is don't hit that pity road. Do not feel sorry for yourself. Get, like you said, like Melinda said, get that fire in your ass, and you know you got time to feel sorry for yourself later when you fix the problem. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
okay, nah,
Exactly, because once you have babies, it's no longer about you.
right.
Yeah.
Nah, you find out that he wants to he got the custody of the children and all that. He wants to take these children out of the country. I know it's kind of hard to do that, but then again, it's also kind of hard to be proved that you was a cheater and still win the custody of the children. So he wants to move out of the country with these children. Do you look into moving into the same country with them? Do you fight to keep them over here? What is your first thought when you coming across a situation like that?
I'm fighting. You're not going to take my kids
fight.
across country or across the world. Like, what do you mean? No.
Okay. And Melinda, you said you fighting too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You got two mother panthers on this phone. So
Right.
yeah, no, you're not taking the babies anywhere. Not like that. Even in the next state.
Wow. I hear that.
Not to mention, you have to get the other parent's permission to take them out of the country.
True.
Right.
In a lot of the cases, but I found out that sometimes money talks. Yeah, my baby mama is not in the picture right now, so I found out that it's certain things that you can do. And I don't want to put none of them out online right now. I don't want to promote the bullshit. I don't want to promote the fuckery. You know what I'm saying? But there's instances out there where the court system, because you got the money, because you got the lawyer who is a high class lawyer, they can go and find loopholes. And there's plenty of loopholes in family law because family law isn't based in the Constitution. So it's kind of hard to close all those loopholes as long as you have the Constitution protecting your right to get into those kind of contracts. But so there's definitely ways to do that. And another thing about that is that you have a lot of people who marry people with children, adopt those children. It's all a scam. It's all a child trafficking scam. In order to be able to get full rights to children and then divorce the actual biological parent and then take these children, now you got custody of them. Yeah, so that's why I kind of like this topic. I like this scenario because it is once again, from a little birdie told me that this is actually happening right now. You know what I'm saying? So to somebody out there, so seeing that, they're seeing all of because I've been approached by people, me being a single father, I've been approached by people that try to put me up on game about a lot of scams that I could pull on the government, on my baby mama, on another single mother, stuff like that. It is ridiculous out here. So I really feel like this is a real good topic to talk about, because that's very, very strange right there, that he would push, that your husband would actually push for you to adopt his secretary's baby. That should be suspect right there. That's a cliche.
Of course.
So,
but at the same time, I think any single parent, any parent should study. You know, if my ex is trying to take my kid, I'm going to study whatever I can to find out where these loopholes are, what I need to study. Yeah, you've lit a fire into my butt, and so I'm going to get you, and I'm going to take everything.
That's real. That's real.
I mean, that's just all there is to it. Doesn't matter how wealthy you are, and yes, money talks, but I can fight if I understand the law enough. If I study hard enough, I'll get my babies back.
Yep. It's been convicted murderers. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mickey.
I said, no, I was agreeing. I said exactly.
Yeah, and there's convicted murderers out there that's giving back life sentences. You can at least get your children's life back. So, I feel that. Now, I got one more question before we actually bring it to a conclusion, and I want us to get like as detailed as possible, because since these situations really do happen, and everybody is always telling you to stay on your P's and Q's, you know what I'm saying? What can you see? If you was in a situation, what could you see? What red flags would give this away? Like I said in the description, you started to think back and you noticed that he was more excited than you were about adopting this child. What else do you think that you'll be able to see in order to keep from going through that?
That's a red flag right there. His excitement, like outside of his what?
Right.
It's like, why are you so excited about your secretary's child right now?
He was getting himself out of a jam. He saw the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Oh, she ain't gonna never find out this is my child, because it is my child. I mean, I adopted it.
Exactly.
It gotta be like, do you think this would go along with, maybe this is why he's been staying late at the office, and or all of a sudden he wants to be at home a lot more because maybe she done popped it to him that she's pregnant and it's his, and things of that nature. Like, there gotta be other red flags out there that would say, hey, this ain't right. Something about this situation just ain't sitting right with me. So, but nah, this
we
was.
We got quiet.
Yeah, no. Well,
I mean, red flags will be everywhere if you're open to seeing them.
Right.
I think a lot of people are just closed-minded to that because they don't want to fathom their spouse cheating.
Right.
Otherwise, you would have had red flags prior to that. It's not just this excitement of adopting your secretary's child. There would have been red flags before that.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, you actually said something real deep right then. You have to be open-minded to seeing that. Since it is now 2022, is it now offensive for thinking that it is a possibility that your spouse could step out on you, or should you have complete faith that your spouse should not step out on you?
I think it depends on the person.
It does. It depends on your relationship. Only you know your relationship. You know how that person treats you. You know their character. You know, it's not going to be out of the blue that your marriage is off. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
There are going to be small signs everywhere, and that's any relationship. But I think if you're just open to the possibility of things happening, that's only natural. It would be unnatural for me to think that we are the world and kumbaya.
Right.
You know, and that this person step out on Halle Berry. You know what I mean?
Hey, that.
So I mean, there's just, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
People are people. Yeah.
All right, I feel that. And Mickey, do you feel the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was agreeing with her. She was talking back here.
Right. So, in this day and age, it's with all these people that's just, it's real. It should be easy because everybody is more straightforward nowadays. To just pretty much just state what you want and not play any games. So why do you think these people keep going through these games? What do you think these people? How these people? I mean, people been getting cheated on since the sun decided to set. You know what I'm saying? So why haven't we learned our lessons? How come we haven't gotten that right yet?
Because we make it easy.
I believe that.
We make it easy for. My thing is, if you have an easy breezy relationship, somebody else comes along, male or female, whatever, I decide to cheat, and I'm with that person, it's because I want to have my cake and eat it too.
Right.
My husband isn't going to go anywhere because, I'm all that in a bag of chips. And plus, like I said, it's very easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's very easy.
When I'm up under you, when I'm up under you constantly, yeah, I mean, you have to be a certain way. There's a game in everything.
Yes.
That's a game that we have to play in a relationship, is just so it doesn't happen. Because it's so easy. And it's easy for both sexes. It's not just that it's easier for men than it is for women. It is easy.
Right. Period.
So, yeah, period. So it's going to continue to happen. And I never, like we had our conversation before with another topic and just the whole cheating scenario, I guess, you got to play a game to keep your man intact with you. Keep it fascinating. So there's always a game.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's where when people say don't play games with my heart, you got to understand that there's a difference between playing games with the heart and playing games with the mind. I don't believe in playing with a person's heart, but the mind is an open playground. You know what they say, that the mind is the devil's playground. So that's, I mean, you got to keep that. You got to, like you said, keep it interesting, and it all is in the mind. You got to don't play with the heart, play with the mind. If you're gonna play with anything, keep the heart intact.
Right.
If you keep the heart intact, then no matter what kind of situation you get into playing with the mind, it'll be able to actually, it'll be a lot easier to keep the romance into the relationship. But a lot of people also don't romance. They don't know how to court. They don't know how to go from courting to dating. And a lot of people, they go in sets. And I think that's why cheating is happening more. I believe cheating is happening more now than any time in history. because like you said, it's easy.
It's more open now than it was then. Everything was taboo way back when.
Right.
But it's just so open now. We're pansexual, heterosexual, bisexual. Come on, we're so sexual, it's not even funny.
Yeah, they even got it to where if you in Cancun,
that makes sense. It's like,
yeah, they even got it to where if you in Cancun, it ain't cheating because you ain't in the country. Wait a minute, where they do that at? I'm like, wow. So
What happens in Vegas stays.
yeah, so I just it's very like
That's
you said,
where that term came from.
right. So I just see it as like it's just way too open now. It's way too accessible. People are way too forgiving. Like you said, ain't nobody gonna. People are down to the point where I ain't gonna. If you're gonna cheat, I'm gonna cheat. We'll just come home together. Like, okay.
and that's crazy because there are no consequences to whatever happens.
Right.
And that's why I think that's why I'm still single. Because there are consequences to whatever you do. You lie to me, you're gone.
Right.
You cheat on me, you're gone. I mean, go to them. If that's where you want to be, go to them. I'm okay with that because I'm doing fine on my own.
Dad, you wasn't making me happy. I was just happy when I was around you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's where a lot of the confusion comes in at too, because people are looking for someone to make them happy. You can't do that. You got to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
And then people are going to want to be, this is why when people get, I was single for all this time. As soon as I get in a relationship, people want to come all at me out the woodwork. Yeah, because they see you happy now and they want to be around happy people.
Right.
Your job is to stay happy with the person you with. Because
and it's not just that. If you can enhance somebody's life instead of completing it, it's so much better. It makes the relationship better when you're enhancing whatever it is.
Yes.
When they bring out the best in you and you're supportive and you're there. But like, men are the but as women we are the next. We turn that head wherever we want to turn it.
Right.
That's our job. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, and I like the way you put that because it is all about enhancing somebody's life. That's what it was all in the beginning, supposed to be in the first place. Mm-hmm. So I like that concept. I hope somebody break that a CD title or something. For real. Make that an album cover or something. I'm for real. That right there. That's the narrative we need to stop looking for somebody to make you happy and build your life.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
For real. All right. But ladies, I enjoyed this conversation, and this is actually unusual to the other What Would You Do podcast, 'cause usually it's all comedy, but this one right here, it brought some awareness to it, and I hope some people, I'm gonna make this a soundbite. I hope some people get something out of it, because if we continue to look for somebody to make us happy, we're gonna end up with you're gonna end up with that adopted kid being your husband's kid.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can steer some people away from me, because it's a lot of I watch Paternity Court all the time, so I sees it all the time. So we definitely need to do better. Definitely need to do better. We do. I mean, until then, though, you'll be able to find these scenarios right here on What Would You Do? So don't do better until we done with this show. All right, ladies. Any shout out y'all want to give? Any last words y'all want to tell give to the audience?
No, not me.
Okay, not you, Melinda.
Yeah. I'm not a big shout out kind of girl, but thank you for having me on.
Anytime. It was definitely a pleasure. I definitely can't wait for y'all to come back on to the next show.
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
Ready. All right, everybody. You already know this is BOSS Radio's What Would You Do podcast. You heard it here. Don't forget to listen to our other podcast. This is the 11th episode. Go check out the 10 episodes before. I guarantee you're going to be very, very entertained. And this is your boy, Mr. E, boss of the Southside Bosses. Want to give a shout out to Mickey and Melinda. And thank you all for coming on the show and discussing this hot topic with us. All right. We're going to go ahead and end it off with some music. This is Michael DeVille with Hey Lover here on BOSS Radio, baby. You know what it is.
BOSS Southside Boss
For as long as I can remember, baby. Sound like them fake niggas, man. I don't talk that bullshit. Man, come step to you, right? Fuck, man. It's Michael DeVille, baby. Know who I am. I'm so tired of laying in the car for you, baby, but I gotta step up, you know? Step up.
It was Harlem at the Ruckers. I saw you with your man, smiling, a Coach bag in your hand. I was laying in the coupe with my hat turned back. We caught eyes for a moment, and that was that. So I skated off as you strolled off. Looking at them legs, goddamn, they look so soft. I gotta take you from your man, that's my mission. If his love has really got to handle competition. You only knew him 5 months. That's right, he drinks too much and smokes too many blunts. And I've been working out every day thinking about you. Looking at my own eyes from the rear view. Catching flashbacks of our eye contact. Wish I could lay you on your stomach and caress your back. I would hold you in my arms and ease your fears. I can't believe it, I ain't had a crush in years. Hey lover, pretty lady, notice me. All nice dress, come talk to me. Bring that pretty ass really close to me. Your homeboy can't fuck with me. Pretty lady, notice me. All nice dress, come talk to me. Bring that pretty ass really close to me. Your homeboy can't fuck with me. I see you at the bus stop waiting every day. Your man must think it's safe for you to travel that way. And I don't want to violate your relationship, so I lay back in the cut with a crush that's a trip. Still, you can't stop me from having daydreams. Tonguing you down with vanilla ice cream. Kissing on your thighs in the moonlight. Searching for your body with my tongue, girl, all night. I wonder one day could it be simple dreams could turn into reality. Our love would come down so naturally. We would walk down the aisle of destiny. What your man gotta hustle on, got you tight scared. Break you off a little chump change to do your hair. It seems to be enough to satisfy your needs, but there's a deeper level if you would follow our lead. Pretty lady, notice me. All nice dress, come talk to me. Bring that pretty ass really close to me. Your homeboy can't fuck with me. Pretty lady, notice me. All nice dress, come talk to me. Bring that pretty ass really close to me. Your homeboy can't fuck with me. Last week I saw you at the mall, standing by the entrance about to make a call. Had a vision, it was me on the other end, telling you come by and then you walk then. I touched you gently with my hands. We talk about traveling to distant lands, escaping all the madness out here in the world. Becoming my wife, no longer my girl then. You let your dress fall down to the floor. I kissed you softly and you yearn for more. Ooh, yeah. We experienced pleasure unparalleled. Into an ocean of love we both fell. Swimming in the timeless currents of pure bliss. Fantasies interchanging with each kiss. Undying passions unties our soul. Together we swim until the point of no control. But it's a fantasy you won't come true. We never even spoke and your man swears he loved you. So I'ma keep my feelings inside. Keep my dreams alive until the right time. Baby, all nice dress. This is more than a crime. Bring that pretty ass really close to me. Your homeboy can't fuck with me. Pretty lady, notice me. All nice any stress, come talk to me. Bring that pretty ass really close to me. Your homeboy can't fuck with me. Your homeboy can't fuck with me. Whoa. Hey lover, this is more than a crush.
BOS Southside
Saw you with your new chick the other day, and I have to say that I'm not impressed. I could see it in your eyes, you're remembering what we do when we did. I remember too. If she was everything that you needed, tell me why you're always checking up on me. Hate to throw salt in her game, but when my name's still on your lips, then you still feel the same. It's complicated. What you gotta say? Your mind is there, your heart's there. You slip my way. Karen ain't the same as love. Does she really know you? Can she love you like I do? Soon as I get in the door, my phone rings. It's been a while, but here I go answering. You say I'm looking good as usual, telling me you're feeling me, and you hope the feeling's mutual. You say I brought back feelings that you never knew, even though she said